Henrik Schwarz and Frank Wiedemann. Please give him a warm welcome.
Hello.
Hello, yours is
Henrik Schwarz and Frank have both been to Berlin. Frank talked about how he did his remix for Lade. Henrik talked about how he developed his iPad app and how he uses Ableton Live and a bunch of other equipment. What is your plan tonight?
What's your plan, Henrik?
I have no plan. I think that's maybe already the core of the project, because we thought in electronic music there might be a plan, because the computer is it's not limited, but when you play electronic music live, many things might be there already before you start playing, and then you just press some buttons and some pre-worked music starts to run. And this project is about improvising electronic music on stage. At the same time, we're trying to cover ourselves or cover other music. Just play in real time. That's the basic idea of it. And we both thought that gives it a very special energy if you do that on stage. It might get really weird, but at some point we just click. And we're doing this now, or we're working together since many years now, and so it feels very light and easy and freaked out at the same time. So that's what it's about.
Was there a eureka moment when you actually decided we want to do this project together? Was there a eureka moment? You know, da! Yeah, literally.
I think no, it was like just a next logical step in a way of like. I mean, we've been producing music together for a long time. We talk a lot together about music and other things for a long time, and then we did 3 years ago. We did this Critical Mass tour with Dixon also and my partner Christian from Arm. Then we had the feeling, okay, this has to be more free and more fun.
Is that also because you listen to jazz records at home that you say, okay, we need to transform this and not press the start button in Ableton and then go to check your emails or something?
No, the thing is, both of us are doing their own live setups with their own music, of course, but still there's a lot of boundaries that you have to play that song in a way that people will recognize it because they somehow wait for it. With this project, it's actually about. It started, I think, at some of the Innervision parties where we just had, at the end, like everybody was playing together, like DJs and live acts, and we started playing together as well, like not playing only our own tracks, but like I played just the chords and he played the drums for it, or vice versa. And the idea came up to just do this as a project with total freedom and as our playground in a way.
And is it more difficult actually to get synced together, or is it more, obviously more fun, otherwise you wouldn't be doing it, but...
That's exactly the exciting part of it.
So you're looking for the challenge. Did it get too boring playing on your own?
No, it's not boring, but it's, obviously when I play as Arm Live, I have like 50 songs I can choose from, and most of the time you play like 20 of them, because you know how they work and blah blah blah, so you get like these routines where you know how to drop which song at what time, and it is still exciting for me, but this is so new all the time that it's just way more exciting for myself when I play, or for us, you know.
Because I guess there's a lot of it, as you're saying, improvised and random, and also you can respond to each other's energy, right?
Absolutely.
Open canvas, and you're kind of growing together. So talk us through each of your setups, because they're not actually connected, are they?
No. Just
no,
here.
they're not connected. Just by heart. Very nice. We just put the same speed on our laptops and then see if they run together. And even if they don't, it might be a special moment because they're running out of time a bit. And then you adjust, and then you have a certain extra energy in that moment when everything comes together again. And that's also with melodies and sounds and everything. We might search for a couple of minutes where it's really weird, and then you just grab something from the stars that you would never play it in the studio. It's just by bouncing things back and forth. And I was quite surprised when we did it for the first time. I was quite surprised that the audience actually follows, because I thought things need to be, well, they need to be rather perfect to work in a club or work on a dance floor. But then we found out that we can do the most crazy stuff, and dancers seem to follow quite long. Not everything, but when things come together, everybody can feel that now the energy just explodes, and that's what it's about, and that creates a very special moment in energy, and that's what it's about.
And about the sync, just to say, it's a bit like playing with a real drummer, you know? It's like they're always quite not on time, and then, but it's still magic.
Yeah.
But do you also have some backup plans, just in case, some security emergency exits that you can take?
I have one, Frank.
Frank probably says the same thing.
I have one too.
So both of you have been playing live for quite some time. How have your live sets evolved over the time?
Like our personals or this one?
Maybe this one?
This one.
But also through, I mean, how much can you actually implement from your personal live sets?
The ARM live set is super simple compared to this. It's just a controller and Ableton. That's it. And I play the loops out of that, and I have a few knobs that I'm tweaking, and that's it basically. And here is like, you have all these little sound machines. They do this or not. This, for instance, or this. And what we do, we have a drum machine here, synth here, and blah, blah, blah. And so I just play stuff, and then we loop it within Ableton. So Ableton is still it's like our looper in a way.
Capture device.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things that can happen, and yeah, nothing is. I mean, I have. If you watch my screen, maybe, and there's a few clips that are from older sessions that we kept because we thought this is like a nice. This is actually the backup, you know. If we don't have an idea, it's just like somebody's playing one of these clips to get into something that is or was already a song in a way. And I think, but for the future, we're already planning this. I don't know if anybody of these people here in the audience knows the Real Book. It's a jazz thing. This is actually a book that carries a few hundred songs in, and one song is on one page. It's just the structure of it. It's like, I don't know, 8, 12, 16 bars of harmonies and the melody on top of it. And that's actually what we want to do with our songs that we have already as ARM or Henrik Schwarz. Just to have like a core, like here's the harmonies, here's the melody, so now gone. And that's the plan behind it.
Is there also ever the moment that you are on a live set and you say, oh, if I would have this kind of device now, that would be really amazing at this moment? Like a DJ who thinks of a record, oh, if I totally forgot this one, but this would be really great. Does this ever happen during a live set?
Just got all this yesterday.
Yeah, and we changed the setup every time we play in a way, because there's new gear released all the time, and I mean, it's very often that I think it's nearly every day I get a message from Frank where he says, have you seen that? So I might take a closer look, and then we think about, can we use it or not? Or we might just get it, try it out. If it makes sense, we keep it. If it doesn't, then it goes away, and that's how it works. So.
But did you ever get in a fight on stage as well? It's like, I want to do the kick drum. No, I want to do the kick drum. Or no, I want to do the melody. Or are you too,
all the time?
Too much
all
in
the time.
What's your solution for that?
I just go there.
I'm louder. I'm louder.
He's louder always.
And there's a reason why the mix is in the middle, right? So, I guess.
No, I mean, you getting into this in a way. It's like, I mean, I have to say, I gave up on the drums. It's his. Oh, wait a minute, I got a drum machine here.
We're gonna change that today.
No, but it's just naturally happening, you know. And then if one of us has the feeling that something is too much or too loud or whatever, we just talk. We talk a lot on stage. That's what we do. Also, it's like, okay, this next one is A minor. Okay.
And controllers play a big part in yours, Henrik. Can you talk us through the controllers you've got here?
Well, there's basically on the left, there's a drum machine that I've written with Max for Live from the hardware is a Native Instruments, I don't know, F1. I think it's made for controlling tractor, but with Max for Live you can turn it into anything you want, and for me it's a better drum machine than anything else. So that is controlling some of the drums in a way, but makes them also playable for me, so that I can choose the patterns really quick and change them, change the sounds. It's a very flexible thing that does many of the drums I'm doing at the moment. Then I have my 16 knob controller that is with me since day one. I mean, it's not the first one.
I was going to say, it's still the first version.
This number 4 now, number 4 of the same type. I crashed them all, and I'm sure that also this one is it's not gonna survive. But let's see if there is something else coming. The Korg is a classic. I think many people might have it. It has very basic sounds. And just sounds nice, and it's small because you have to carry it around. And then there's one thing that we both,
the OP1,
and everyone seems to love. Everyone who has tried it, heard it, is in love with this tiny little synth. It's called OP1, and if you're a producer, I can strongly recommend to test it. It's such a creative machine. It's helping you with everything, and so playful, so musical. Yeah, we are huge fans.
Frank?
Well, with me, I have the same OP1. I can recommend it as well as Henrik does. I have a machine drum, very basic, just to program some beats if I need to, and it's synced with my computer. And I have this Arturia monosynth, which is well, a nice choice for the moment. Let's see. And 2 controllers, just one basic MIDI keyboard and some knobs. And this little beauty, which is a pocket piano called, and it's with wooden keys, and it just makes weird sounds. It's very limited, but therefore very easy to use and nice to use as well, because I think it's the same with this thing. It's like limitation gives you creativity or makes you creative.
All right, but you also brought some analog equipment there. It's not all fueled by electricity.
Yeah, you mean this?
This little wooden equipment. Is that from your kids or?
No, that's very serious stuff, actually. There's a nice microphone here, and that goes somewhere in there. And
it looks like a beer bottle, but it's actually
it's a microphone. Actually. For me, it's always good to get some real sounds, and because they have a certain texture that still, I believe, digital equipment can't give you. If you just sample a tiny little something, that might open up everything, and because it's a human being playing that, even if I can't do it. Actually, I just record the sound and sample it and tweak it, and then I see if something's coming out up from it. If not, then we go on. Yeah.
So just for the evolution of the project, you played a set in London a few weeks ago, and what is the future plan behind this project? Is this solely meant to be a live project, or are you ever planning to produce a record as well, or did you already?
We talked about it already, and I think the problem is with this, it's very much about the moment. I think that motto for Innervision parties, lost in the moment, never fits better than here, right? No.
Well, on the other hand, I think we have 7 albums ready, in a way. We have 7 albums recorded, but somebody needs to listen to these hours and hours of what we played and decide what is actually good and what isn't. I think most of it isn't, but somebody needs to do it, and we don't have the time. So we are planning to make an album.
Sure, we can find some people to help you out with that.
Yeah. It's going to come at some point. So.
How do you think the electronic music is evolving at the moment in different styles, and it goes farther? You got in-house like 6 styles, and it's evolving. How do you think about it?
It's actually the question I wanted to discuss with Dixon and Christian on Monday. Can you ask me? Honestly, I thought the same. Yeah, I mean, I think styles has never been like a thing that we needed, right? It's more about just music, and I think one like attribute that would describe Innervision the best is it's very musical. And I think for me and also for Henrik, I guess the music is always the interesting part in it, like the musical aspect, like harmonies, chords, whatever. But of course we're doing techno also, and techno is based on just beats and loops, and so we have to find a balance in between. But I also think that electronic music is about, since a few years already, like to collaborate with many other styles, like Henrik is playing tomorrow with an orchestra here in Amsterdam. Or I play with a band sometimes somewhere in the world, and it's just like it's pushing the boundaries again. So, but I will let you know on Tuesday, okay?
Yeah, because when I'm looking on Beatport or something, a lot of music is called at the moment deep house, and also your music from Innervisions, when the genre on Beatport they call it deep house. So I'm asking, is your music deep house? How do you think about it? You can make a different genre?
For me, I would say maybe the most creative part in electronic music at the moment is giving the same thing a new name. And that's actually also why we sit here and trying to promote the idea of freaking out again, because this music has always been the freest, craziest music in the world in a way. For me even. It got very professional during the last 10 years, so things have to work, and that is maybe why not so many people are still risking something when they produce or when they play. So everybody seems to be after the same 50 hits of the month, and there's so much music out there. I wonder why not more people are playing it. That's why we're here. We play totally free. We play some stuff that you haven't heard before. I haven't heard it before. Let's see where it goes.
Thank you.
This one is specific for Henrik. Where does your African influence come from in your music?
I think it has been there before. I think you are born with it. I felt attracted by African music more than other music. I wasn't raised with African music or anything. I just felt attracted by it. Yeah, it's difficult to describe. It's just touching you very deeply. So, yeah, just follow what is attracting you.
I was wondering if you produce your music, if you always create your own sounds, or do you use any samples or any presets or something, or is every sound handcrafted? Let's say that.
I have to say I'm a preset worker. Yeah, I like presets. I might change them, of course, but I don't spend hours and days in the studio to create the perfect bass sound. I don't. No. I just step to a couple of presets. I might know where to find them. When I need a specific sound, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get it from this machine or plugin or whatever. So, yeah, that's how it works.
What about you, Frank?
It's maybe 50-50, I would say. I mean, it's quite handy to just use a preset at the beginning and just to get an idea of where the song goes, you know, and then maybe you're thinking, okay, maybe that preset doesn't sound that well, so I'm tweaking it, or I just need to play this with another instrument that gives me a... but I have to say, I'm often working just like, okay, today is organ day, get the organs out and play something on the organ, sample that, tweak it, loop it, whatever.
Maybe you can both talk us through a significant turning point in your career. Was there anything where you said, well, this changed the whole game for me?
Christian would probably say when Bayern Munich won the Champions League last year. This year. Turning point?
For me, absolutely, when I decided to stop what I've learned. That was, I've studied graphic design and I was working in that field for many years, and it was fun. And then I started to release the first records, and I started to play, and I will always remember that day. It was a Friday when I was self-employed, and I was also playing at the same time, and then I was sitting at the airport just about to board the airplane to somewhere, and I got a call from a customer who said, could you change the headline color from red to green? it needs to be printed in 2 hours. And I thought, oh, that's not going to work this time. And that was the moment when I just decided to let it go, stop everything I followed so far, and just go the other way. And so far it has been the right one. So.
And the headline color remains, doesn't it?
Yeah, it stayed green or red, or I don't know.
I don't know, for me it's like there's been many turning points, but very obvious one is when I moved to Berlin, yes. It's like...
You're in Berlin?
Yeah, should we have a coffee? I always thought that making music, you can do this wherever you do. Of course, you still can do, but it's just like the people you meet there, and it's like very, very same-minded in a way, but also inspiring. So I guess this was my turning point, maybe, getting there, getting to Berlin. But you should not all come, please. It's already quite a few there.
Not all at once.
Might be time for some music then.
So yeah, time for some music, definitely. One more question, maybe. You're traveling the world, playing in clubs. What are the two things, in your opinion, that have changed over the last 10 years?
Like Henrik already said, it's like sometimes way too much business around it. It's a very big deal, and it's a lot about money, and it's less about the music sometimes.
And do you think that's also hindering the development of music, would you say?
I would think so, yeah.
Yeah, there's a good and a bad side to it. Yeah, of course, things got more commercial, but on the other hand, clubs and promoters, they compete so much, they have to, so you get really nice places. I think 10 years ago, we would never sit in a place like this to have a talk about electronic music. We would never have a proper sound system. This is the good side of it still, and somehow I can enjoy that part. Yeah, because going to places where you just have nice sound and everything is properly set up, that is good, because it helps the music, of course. And people who come to dance, they enjoy it more. I don't know if it's more than before, because we all loved the dark, dirty places too with a bad sound. It's part of a big, big game now.
So Dixon once said on one of his Essential mixes that he hated people who used Shazam. So he played one set with only tracks nobody could Shazam. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about Shazam and people checking out your songs?
I use it.
You use it yourself?
Yeah, of course. But it will probably not work today, to be honest, and it's not.
Exactly. I don't hate anyone. So.
Well, that's too easy. But how do you feel about Shazam? You know, when DJs are checking you out and Shazamming your songs and using them in their own sets.
I mean, let's be honest. I think also Dixon does not have anything against Shazam itself.
Him, but, you know.
He's just against people like standing with their phones all the time there, you know, checking all the tracks, and that's actually the annoying part, that people so much are about like taking pictures, making movies, Shazamming stuff on their phones, sending messages to their friends that they're not actually at the party anymore. They're just somewhere, you know, in space and like connected with their friends, which is of course nice too, but not nice for the party. And I think it's about that. So, and I don't have anything against Shazam, and I think Dixon doesn't too.
Okay, thank you very much.
I wonder why you don't play a lot with Christian. You produce music with him, right? But why don't you play a lot with him?
Very simple. He's a DJ. I'm a live act, and we just don't play together that often. It's just, I think it's, I like a lot what he's playing, but my set usually doesn't fit that much into it. I don't know why, but it's just happening like this. And yeah, we travel a lot, but when we play together, it's almost only on the Innervisions parties, which is part of it. But maybe next year, you'll know. Let's see.
Thank you.
I tried to make him play live as well, but it's a bit difficult with him.
You can still use him as a dancer.
Is there anything in your career that you would still really like to do? Or where you still really would like to play that you've never played before, if there is such a place?
Oh, there's millions of things. I mean, this is just the beginning. So I've been lucky that whenever something was finished, another door opened. And especially now, I find it a very special moment for electronic music in general, because it's so established now. Also a good side of it, it's so serious that even people from outside the electronic world, they take us serious sometimes. And that's so many options again. Yeah, there's many things to do still.
Which one or who of you would like to hear them play now?
No one. Quite a few.
One last thing, maybe what we forgot to say or to mention really is that this is a lot of fun for us. We really have a lot of fun. You will see this, and so I hope you enjoy it too.
Yeah, and come over to the stage. I mean, it's not.
Incredible. Okay. So who has any pressing questions they'd like to ask? After that shock.
Henrik, can we maybe expect something of this tomorrow?
Yeah, today it sounded quite similar. So yeah.
What can we expect?
Timing?
Well, the idea to play electronic music with an orchestra, but without any electronics. So it's actually computer music, and we have written it down on sheets, in notes, trying to capture what electronic music is, and now we are trying to explain to classically trained musicians what this is about, and it's a very interesting discussion.
Which DJs are for you guys the disciples of your style of music?
That's always a difficult question to give names. I mean, I've been listening to, or the guy who actually brought me into making all this was Jeff Mills, and he's the one still. So when I played jazz records as a DJ myself, and then electronic music hit Europe, Detroit techno, and they were playing it in the same club where I was playing jazz records, and so I went there to listen on Tuesdays, and I just couldn't get behind it. Yeah, I thought, what is this? This is horrible. I can't get it. This has nothing to do with music. And then they had Jeff Mills on one Tuesday, and so he taught me that this is actually also jazz, how I see it, and just having the freedom of doing things whenever you want to, and to have him at some point would be very nice.
I'm really curious, which artists do influence you? Because I'm a big fan of rock music, and that's totally different than electronic music. So do you have some rock artists that do influence you?
I would say it's a bit of the same question as the DJ questions. When it comes to names, it's always a bit difficult because it's like today there's this tune that I really liked, and this 2 days ago was the Stevie Wonder record I played, you know, and it's like for me, music is something very that happens at this moment. You listen to it now, and it's touching you now, and it's. I mean, for me, it has been a lot of maybe all the styles in the world. I just prepared something yesterday for a panel I'm doing tomorrow, where I have to talk about I'm allowed to talk about my favorite producers in the world. And I thought, okay, it's gonna be no techno producer, it's gonna be no, I don't know, like last 10 to 20 years producer. So I decided, okay, what really makes the difference, or made the difference in the years and the decades. And I found so much music that I really liked for like over the years since I'm born. And it's, you know, if it's jazz, it's rock, it's classical music, if it's reggae, if it's another deep house record, I don't know, it's everything can inspire, you know, and it has been for me at least everything, really everything.
Thank you for your answer.
So I have an answer for you. When you are into rock music, why are you here? And that's maybe the question why we also should listen to rock music, because there's good stuff in there also. Yeah. I respect that a lot.
I have a question. Tonight you're running your label night, Trouw Innervisions, and I would like to ask you about how do you select your DJs to run or add to your label, because we all heard the song like 10 Walls from the Gotham song, and nobody knows who 10 Walls is. How do you get new artists to your label?
Well, you will see later who 10 Walls is, I guess. He's not playing behind the curtain. No, there's people sending us demos, of course, and there's this one demo that sticks out. There's no rocket science behind it. It's just we are lucky that there's so many people like what we do, and they send us stuff what they think that might fit. Some of it doesn't fit at all, but we sometimes listen to it, or you get, you know, you meet some other, you play on another party and you see, okay, there's this DJ who's like opening up for you and he's really good, and then he's even playing a tune from himself, and then you ask like, okay, what's this, you know?
How do you see yourselves in 5 years' time from now?
As I said before, I have the feeling there's doors opening now. We are standing on very safe feet, or it feels like that. So if you feel safe, you can be brave, and you can try out new things. And it never felt so open or easy to really break into something else. And I think we should do that, but I don't know where this is going. I'm just hoping it's going on, because so far it has been quite nice. Yeah, I'm hoping it's going on.
What's your biggest challenge? Actually, I was sorry to interrupt you. What's your biggest challenge when performing live? Is there one thing that creates the most tension among you when you play?
Between us.
Between you both, yeah.
The challenge is to find to get through all these little things and find that perfect moment when it just hits you in the face. It's like when you listen to. I just had this experience when I listened to an old Miles Davis records from 1969, yeah, 69, and there's like 20 minutes of just noise. It's guitars, it's drums, it's everything. It's just noise. And then there's this one moment when Miles is playing the trumpet, and he's playing this one melody, and everybody tunes in, and it's just a moment of beauty, basically. And I think that's what we're working for this one beautiful moment.
Melody.
That one.
Tomorrow it's Henrik Schwarz and Instruments. I'm very much looking forward to that. But I was wondering, how did you come up with that idea? Because I think that's quite unique to play, to use classic orchestra to play electronic music. So how did that idea come to your mind?
Of course, somehow it's a dream to do that. Work with an orchestra. It's the craziest thing you can do. 3 years ago, I was asked by an orchestra in South Germany if I would work with them on a concert, because I think they had some budget left or a slot left, and they were thinking, what can we do? So let's invite a DJ. That's maybe what they thought. And he can add some beats to what we do. That wasn't exactly what I wanted to do. So I asked them if they have someone for me who can help me transfer my electronic music into sheet music for an orchestra. And so they sent me a really nice guy, Johannes Brecht, he's over there, and we got along really nice. And so we spend a lot of time now in transferring what I had. I just choose 10 of the songs I made where I thought they could maybe work for an orchestra, and so we sat down and worked, and at some point we had this amount of paper and went to the orchestra and asked them to play it. When they played the first tone of rock music, it was a 20-string ensemble. That was one of the most touching moments in my life, I think, because it was amazing, and I had never expected there is so much in there, and that was the moment when I thought, yeah, this needs to be recorded, or we have to work on this to really make it happen. But this is 3 years from now, so we spend a lot of time. It's tough, but it's a lot of fun too. So, yeah.
How much time did it take you to start making money and start living from what you do, from music, only from music? Like, how long was the process that you actually could survive just from doing what you are doing? Yeah.
I think it took 15 years. I was working on the computer of a friend because I couldn't afford one, and they were, I don't know when computers came up, I don't remember. It's quite a while ago. So he had one, and I bought a sound card for his computer, but that's very, very long ago. But I remember I spent around 10 years in the basement of my parents to get behind what's going on with MIDI, and I had no clue, and I didn't know anything, and there was no internet. No internet. Computers weren't able to play audio, just MIDI. Yeah, it took a while. It was hard.
I have to say, it should actually never be about money. If you started, you should do it for the music, not for the money. I mean, I'm saying this on a very comfortable state, I'm sure, yeah, but I had this one moment that was maybe 20 years ago, 15 years ago, I don't know. I was invited to play in a cover band in my hometown, to play music from a band called Village, or The Village. You Are My Everlasting Love was their hit. And I was like, yeah, let's earn a lot of money every evening. So I was rehearsing with them, and I didn't like the music at all, but I thought, okay, it's gonna be a lot of money. Yeah, let's do this. So I started doing this, and after 2 or 3 rehearsals, I had to stop it because it actually kills your creativity if you just do it because you want to earn the money. And that's what happened to me, and that's what you should always have in mind, I think.
So please give it up for Frank and Henrik again, and enjoy the second part of their set.